Before you chose a bridge, something inside you had already moved. Not your logic, not your memories. Something quieter, something older. Bridges are strange. They exist between two places, between who you were and who you could become. Some bridges feel safe, some feel impossible. Some disappear into light, some disappear into fog. The bridge that holds your attention first may reveal something about the place your inner self has been trying to reach. Don't overthink. Don't compare. Simply notice which bridge keeps calling you back. Take one slow breath, look carefully, and let your subconscious choose. Bridge 1. The ancient stone bridge. If the ancient stone bridge caught your attention first, your soul may be searching for something it once had before life became so loud. This bridge does not promise excitement. It offers something far more difficult to find: peace. You have probably spent a long time adapting, changing, becoming what other people needed, solving problems before anyone asked, carrying responsibilities that slowly became your identity. Eventually, you forgot what it felt like to simply exist. Stone bridges survive because they don't rush. They remain while rivers continue flowing beneath them. Your subconscious may be reminding you that strength isn't always movement. Sometimes, strength is remaining grounded while everything else changes. You may feel tired recently, not because you're weak, but because you've been walking for too long without stopping. Deep inside, you don't need another opportunity. You don't need another challenge. You need somewhere that feels like home. Perhaps you've been trying to heal by becoming someone new, but healing doesn't always move forward. Sometimes, it quietly returns. This bridge suggests that your next chapter won't begin with ambition. It will begin with acceptance. The moment you stop running from yourself, you'll discover that you've been standing near the right path all along. Maybe your soul isn't asking you to become more. It's asking you to finally come back. Bridge 2. The rope bridge. If the rope bridge was the one you chose, there is a part of you that already knows you cannot stay where you are. This bridge feels unstable. It sways. It creaks. Every step asks for trust before certainty. That is exactly why your subconscious noticed it. Perhaps your life has reached a place where nothing feels completely safe anymore. Maybe a relationship has changed. A career no longer feels meaningful. A dream you've protected for years suddenly feels too small. People often believe courage feels confident, but real courage rarely does. Real courage usually feels like fear that decided to keep walking. The rope bridge does not remove uncertainty. It teaches you how to move through it. Your subconscious may be showing you something important. You have been waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of yourself. But perfection has quietly become another form of delay. You already know the direction. What you don't know is what happens after the first step. And somehow, that has kept you standing still. Notice something about this bridge. It doesn't promise comfort. It promises possibility. Every great change begins before you feel ready. Every meaningful chapter begins while your hands are still shaking. Growth has never belonged to people who felt fearless. It belongs to people who kept moving despite their fear. Perhaps the hardest thing for you isn't failure. It's leaving behind the version of yourself that has kept you safe for so long. Safety can become a beautiful prison. The walls are familiar, The routine is predictable. Nothing hurts too much, but nothing truly changes either. Your subconscious may already understand that your future cannot meet you until you leave the place your past built. The bridge doesn't ask whether you're brave enough. It asks something much quieter. How much longer are you willing to remain exactly where you are? Because every day you choose not to cross is still a choice. And sometimes the greatest risk is believing that standing still is somehow safer than moving forward. Maybe the bridge appeared today because somewhere inside you, the journey has already begun. Bridge 3, the Golden Bridge. If the Golden Bridge was the one that held your attention, your heart may be searching for meaning more than success. At first glance, this bridge feels warm, open, inviting. It seems to promise that something beautiful is waiting at the other side, but your subconscious did not choose it because it looked beautiful. It chose it because somewhere inside you, hope is still alive. Perhaps you've been through seasons that slowly convinced you not to expect too much. You learned to lower your expectations, to protect yourself from disappointment, to celebrate less, to dream less, to need less. It felt safer that way. But hope is a strange thing. It doesn't disappear. It simply becomes quiet. And sometimes, all it takes is a single image to remind it that it's still there. This bridge speaks to people who have forgotten that life was never meant to be survived. It was meant to be experienced. Maybe you've become so focused on reaching the destination that you've stopped noticing the sunlight on the journey. You've been measuring your life by achievements, by productivity, by how much you finished, instead of asking, when was the last time I truly felt alive? The Golden Bridge reminds you that fulfillment isn't found at the end. It's found in the way you walk, the people you become, the peace you carry, the moments you allow yourself to fully feel. Your subconscious may also be telling you that you don't have to earn happiness first. You don't have to become perfect before allowing yourself to smile. You don't have to solve every problem before living your life. The sun doesn't wait until the world becomes perfect before it rises. It simply rises again and again and again. Perhaps that's the lesson you've been needing, not to wait for a better future before allowing yourself to live in the present. This bridge is not asking you to chase another dream. It's asking you to reconnect with the reason you started dreaming in the first place. Because purpose is not always something you discover. Sometimes it's something you remember. And maybe your soul chose this bridge today because it's finally ready to stop surviving and start living again. Bridge 4, the Hidden Bridge. If the hidden bridge, disappearing into the fog, was the one you chose, your subconscious may be trying to tell you that not everything needs to be seen before it can be trusted. This bridge is different. It doesn't reveal where it ends. It doesn't promise what you'll find. It simply asks one question: will you keep walking even when you cannot see the destination? Most people believe uncertainty is the enemy, but uncertainty has always been the beginning of every meaningful chapter. You didn't know who you would become when you first learned to walk. You didn't know who you would meet before opening the right door. You didn't know which moments would quietly change your entire life, yet they happened, not because you had all the answers, but because life kept moving, one unseen step at a time. Perhaps you've been trying to control everything lately, every outcome, every conversation, every possibility. You tell yourself you're being careful, but deep inside, you may simply be afraid of being surprised. Control often feels like safety until one day you realize you've built a life where nothing unexpected can happen. No great joy, no great love, no great transformation, only predictability. And while predictability can feel comfortable, it rarely helps us grow. The fog on this bridge is not there to punish you. It protects you from seeing too far ahead. Imagine if you could see every heartbreak, every mistake, every delay before they happened. Would you still choose your life, or would fear stop you before the best parts ever had a chance to arrive? Sometimes, not knowing is a gift because it allows hope to exist beside uncertainty. Your subconscious may already understand something that your conscious mind keeps resisting. You do not need complete clarity to take your next step. You only need enough courage for the next one. Life has never asked you to see the entire bridge, only the piece beneath your feet. Notice how every bridge you've crossed in your life eventually disappeared behind you. What once felt impossible became your past. What once frightened you became your experience. What once seemed uncertain became the story you now tell yourself. Perhaps this bridge appeared today because you're standing at the edge of another beginning, not one filled with certainty, but one filled with possibility. And maybe the person waiting for you on the other side of the fog isn't someone else. Maybe it's the version of you that you've been becoming all along. Perhaps none of these bridges appeared by accident. Perhaps each one was quietly reflecting a different part of your life. One bridge asked you to return to yourself. One bridge asked you to be brave enough to move. One bridge reminded you that hope is still alive. One bridge asked you to trust what you cannot yet see. None of them were predicting your future. They were revealing how you're standing in the present, because every bridge has one thing in common. It connects two places that cannot meet without a choice. And maybe that's where you are today, standing between the life you've known and the life that's quietly waiting for you. The distance between those two places may not be as large as you imagine. Sometimes it's only one decision, one conversation, one goodbye, one beginning, one step. People often wait until they feel ready, until they're certain, until fear completely disappears. But bridges were never built for people who already knew what was waiting on the other side. They were built for people willing to cross despite not knowing. Maybe that's why this bridge found you tonight, not because it has all the answers, but because it asked the right question. Which part of your life has already ended, even though you haven't walked away yet? And which future has been waiting patiently for you to finally take the first step? The bridge doesn't move. You do. The bridge doesn't decide. You do. The bridge doesn't change your life. Your choice to cross it does. Perhaps the bridge you chose was never trying to tell you where to go. Perhaps it was quietly showing you who you've already become. So when life places another bridge in front of you, don't ask, "Will I be afraid?" You probably will. Don't ask, "Will I know what happens next?" You probably won't. Ask yourself something simpler. Does this path feel true to who I'm becoming? Because sometimes the bravest step isn't the biggest one, it's the quiet one that nobody else notices, the one that changes everything. Take one slow breath. Look back at the bridge you chose, not because you need to stay there, but because for a brief moment it helped you hear something you may have been trying to tell yourself all along. Thank you for walking with me tonight. Until our paths cross again, listen carefully to your inner whisper